So hey guys, this is Rahul here, and today we are going to do a to-do list app. And the main purpose of this app is to understand the Wagmi, how the Wagmi works, and that's what we are going with. So let's start the tutorial. And second task of the day. So let me just add this to do, and once you click on this, it will say check your wallet, and once you have uh, click on confirm, and then this to do is added to our smart contract. So it takes a little bit of time because it has to confirm, and this is our second task of the day, or let's say third task. And let me add this to do, and all you need to do is this, and then this is your basically to-do list app. And can keep on adding to-dos using this, and we are using Wagmi for this. And how you should delete it, let's click on the second task of the day. So let's click on delete button and click on confirm. So it will delete the second task of the day, and today we are going to build this app, and let's see how it goes. So guys, if there is some kind of error, just try reloading it. Sometimes it trade, and see the second task of the day is deleted, and that's how we are going to make this project. Okay, so how do we start it now? First, just go to your terminal, and I have this right here. I'll give you this hash note blog which I have written. In fact, I also have a video on YouTube. You can check this video, how to connect the MetaMask. And first, all you need to do is just go, and these are like 5 basic steps. As soon as you follow these, and you'll be able to have a connect wallet button, which will help you. You'll get your MetaMask basically for calculation. So I want to rename my app to to-do list. Okay, and remember, this is not camel case. You have to use only small letters, and just click enter and make this folder. And once you are done with this, all you need to do is just go inside this folder. Okay, in the I button or something. So once you are done with this, just I don't want TypeScript, just say enter to these. Okay, no TypeScript and all, whatever kind of project you want. So we'll just cd into our to-do list folder, and so I cd into the to-do list folder. Then next, all I need to do is just copy this and just go to your terminal and do this. Okay, it's very easy. You need to do just 5 or so copy paste, and your app will start working. So let me come back once this installs. So now we are done with this, and just click on code space dot, and this will open directly all of your code in the VS Code. Okay, so we are going to use VS Code for this. And so this is our to-do list app, and let's follow through the next step. Now we don't need this command prompt. Okay, we'll just remove this, and after this, all you need to do is go to Index.js and just copy this, and we'll go to Index.js in pages, Index.js, remove everything. Okay, so Control A and back, and we'll Control V this. Okay, so this is our Index.js, and this is our app.js folder. Okay, app.js folder. So inside app.js, what you need to do is just go to your app.js and remove everything and paste this. Okay, so this is your app.js. Now your wallet will be connected. All we need to do is npm run dev. Let's check it out if our server is working or not. So we'll do npm run dev here, and we'll wait for this to we'll click on control and click on our mouse, and it will open, and there we go, we have a connect wallet button. You'll have this hydration error as well, and I have a video on my YouTube as well, which is a 1-minute video and on how to solve this hydration error. So I'll just you can just follow that video, and I am going to show you here how. Let me just go to my hydration error video from here itself. So I'll go to the hydration error video, and I'll go to this, and I'm going to go to app.js, and I'll paste this, a next dynamic here, and I'm going to paste this here. So I'll paste this here and remove export default from here because we are already export defaulting it from below, and I'll save this. And now if you see this, our error will go away. So it has 3 errors right now, and you see that our error is gone and our wallet is connected. So after we have connected our wallet, all I need to do, I have explained all this code in my video of the 100 seconds MetaMask. You just check out that video, and all the explanation on what this is and how whatever we copy pasted, it is already done in that video. And we have also removed the hydration error. Now what we'll install Tailwindcss in this, and for that we'll go to Tailwindcss, and we'll go to this library, and we'll go to docs, and since this is a Next.js app, we are going to go to framework guides and Next.js, and then I'm going to just use this. Okay, see, we don't need to create this app since we already created for Wagmi, and I have already done this process, so we don't need this, but we do need this one. Okay, so I'll just copy this, and I'll just paste it here. First I need to close the server here. Okay, I'll paste this code here, and I'll click on enter, and I'll just these are like 4 or 5 steps which you need to follow, and your app will start working. We'll copy the next one now, this one, and we are just installing everything required for Tailwindcss. Okay, so once this is done, next we need to do is all it is saying is go to tailwindconfig.js file and just copy this here. Okay, you'll just paste it here and it will be done. And the next step is go to global.css. Make sure you save this file, so Control S here, and go to global.css, which is in styles global.css, and paste this. Okay, paste this file here. Okay, once you are done with this, it is saying run the server again, and basically the Tailwind is also done. So now that we have connected our wallet, we need a smart contract to interact with, and for that I have this code. It's a very simple code. I'll just go to Remix and show you guys. So I think I have named this as to do one. Happening is this is just an array. There is nothing else. This is an array. When we add a string here, this thing is pushed to this array, this to do items array. Whatever we add, it is going to once we call this function, it is going to push this to this array of strings. And for deleting it, what it is doing is it is going to copy this on the index which we want to delete. It is going to copy the last element of the array to the index which we want to delete, and then it will pop up the last array. For example, arrays of 3 length 3, and we want to delete at index 1. So once you input this index, what it is going to do is from index 2, since it is of length 3, from index 2 it is going to copy on index 1, and it is going to pop means remove the last element, and that's all this is. And what this function is doing is it is going to give us this array. Okay, it is going to give us this whole array of to do items. So there all you need to do is click somewhere around this and create a new folder called contracts. Okay, once you create this folder, and also you have to, not in this, but there is also going to be a folder name of components. Okay, so we are going to create I don't need this right now, so I'll just leave it. Inside contracts, I'm going to create a folder name data.js, and one more folder is going to be the soul file. Okay, so what we are going to deploy, let's name it todo.sol. Okay, so in that we don't need this todo.sol, but if you have a contract, just copy paste this for your ease, and just copy paste it in this todo.sol, so you'll kind of remember what your contract was. Okay, and we are going to only interact with this. Okay, from the data.js we are going to create contract data variable here, and it is going to be an object. Okay, it is going to be an object. Now we want to export this, so we are going to do export const and contract object. Now this is an object, okay, so it will have two different inputs. One will be address, sorry, key and value pair, right? So one will be address and the another will be ABI, okay. And So what's the address here? So if you go here, once you deploy this contract, you'll get the address from here, okay, where you have deployed. Once you click on deploy, so let me just paste this contract here, contract address, and in the ABI you can get from here. ABI is this thing. You'll get the ABI of the compilation from here, and you can copy this and you can paste this here. Okay, this will be your ABI, and also remember, I think there is no comma here, and let me just paste the address here. Okay, we have this contract data, and I think contracts is done. We don't really need it now. And now we are going to have, let's say, an input. So we are going to create a p tag here, and we are going to say input your to do basically here, and it's going to be text. Okay, so we are going to say it is going to be a text input. Since it is going to be a string, we can give it a value. Let's say a placeholder first, placeholder, and placeholder will be add to do. Add to do, we have a placeholder here, and I think we'll have to create a set state for this around here. So we'll create a state of set, we'll set to do, and we'll use state for this. Okay, we are going to use state for this, and let's keep it an empty string as of now. Okay, and we'll also need to import useState, right? Since we are using useState, we'll need to import useState as well. So just select this, and so useState is already there. Okay, so what we are going to do is, now in this value, we want the value of this input to be equal to do, which is this. Okay, and also we need to do set to do. Basically we'll need to do set to on, we'll need to use on change function here. Okay, on change function here, and it will have an event basically which says e dot set to do to e dot target dot value. So we'll set to do to this, and like the different functions used for interacting. And you go to Wagmi.sh, and once you go here, you'll go to React. I also have a Wagmi video on my channel, so if you check it out, it's like it has explained everything in the Wagmi video. This is like a second video and kind of revision, because what happens is TodoList is one of those starting apps where you have to go, and TodoList kind of gives you a lot of understanding of a lot of things. So we'll just use this. Okay, and we are going to use two functions, which is to read and write. I have explained these two functions in the previous video which I made on Wagmi. You can watch it and understand. I have given a very detailed explanation on that, and I'm just going to show this use case directly here and import this. Okay, I'll just copy this and I'll show you how this is done. Since we are building this in Next app, this is how we should do it. Okay, sorry, we are going to import this here. All the imports are on the top. Okay, these imports are on the top. Then we are going to copy this const function. Okay, and we are going to do it inside here. Let me give some space. Okay, now this is our app basically. Now we are going to make the write function. Okay, for writing the function, they have already given this, and the return should look like this. Okay, so they have given this return to us, and this is how the return will look like. So basically they are giving us this button, which is going to be, let's say, add to-do list, and if it is loading it will say check wallet, and also if it is success, let it show that our to-do is added. Okay, to-do added to the list. Okay, so this is, they have already given us, we don't need to do this. I'm just changed the name of this, and let me just show you this on our server. So let me see how it works. So let it first run on the server. I want whatever is inside the input to go when this button is clicked. Okay, so so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add something which is like here. I have to first write all the function names, and if you remember, we have this in our contracts. So this is our contract, which is the add to do item. This is our function name. Okay, so we are going to copy this function name and we are going to go to our page, which is the Next.js, and we are going to, instead of that function name, we are going to change the function name here, and we want the address and ABI, right? You remember we made a contract with data.js which has this contract data, so object which has address and ABI. So we are going to use this contract data, and let's go back, and instead of this address we want our own address, which is like the contract data. Once you click on this, contract data will be automatically added here. If you have your VS Code optimized, you can just use this. Okay, so I added contract data dot address. Since this is an object, we are trying to get an object from this. Okay, this is contract data dot address, so we got this, and for next also we'll need ABI, so we'll get the contract data. I'll click here and then ABI. So this is our ABI. Now our function is ready to make the write. Okay, and we have the function name, but we also want to give this an input, which we are taking here from the front end. Okay, we want to give this function our input. So okay, also remember, I think I made a mistake here. Okay, this was the error, sorry. Yeah, sorry, I was making it equal to, that's why. Yeah, so yeah, so after this we need an input here, right? So once you go to Wagmi use contract, they have given how do you feed the arguments to it. So once you scroll down, you'll see how to put an argument. So for putting an argument, you need to have an array, empty array like this inside your function. Okay, so we are going to add an empty array here, and this is our argument, and this argument will take our to do. Okay, so what we did was, inside the input we gave this value to do. Okay, now this to do itself, it goes to the top on this use state, and this to do is our input. Okay, so if we give this to do, then I think it should work, and we gave the input, we are giving it the input. Let's try it out. Okay, let's try it out on our website. So I think it is already loaded, and okay, it's the wrong network. So I'll need a Polygon Mumbai maybe, so let's go to our app.js, and here we'll need Polygon Mumbai. So remove all this, these are not required. So we only need the Mumbai testnet because I'm going to go with Mumbai. Okay, we don't need all this, so I'll just remove them and do only the Polygon in the app.js. Go to app.js, we'll use only Polygon Mumbai for this, because every single day they are removing Goerli and lot of testnets, so I'll just use Polygon Mumbai for this. And once I go here, you'll see that we have an input to do, and let me just add this to do. So let me add let's say first task. So when I click on add, so it is saying check wallet, the pop-up opened, and we are going to click on confirm, and to do is added to the list. So it is added, and if you see here, if we go to our website, so to do is added actually, but the problem here is that it is not showing on our website. So we'll need to use another function for that. Okay, you're adding the to do to our smart contract, which is this, or leave this is our smart contract, right? You remember we copied it here. So see, we are doing the add to do, and what it is doing is it is pushing to this array of to do items, but we need to see the to dos as well, right? We have to see all the to dos. So how to get all to dos? So in order to get this, we have created this function which is like a view function. Okay, it's a view function. So uh, for viewing this function, we need to have another, we have to now read from the contract. Writing is like making changes to the content. Now we have to read from the contract, so we have this function for reading, and we are going to go to Wagmi docs for read contract, use contract read. Okay, how I reached here, I clicked on React, then I came to hooks. Okay, inside hooks there is use contract read. Okay, so they have given already like what is this, how to use this. So I'm just going to copy this. Actually I don't need to copy the whole thing because this is already written there. I'll just copy this and I'll put it here inside the index.js. So see, we have already copied for the right data. If I just paste here and put a comma here, I think this is set, and we also have the read data. Now for read data, how do we need to, so they have shown their use case, no? So this is how you'll read the data. Okay, so I'll control C this and I'll control C over here. So I'll click on save, and there is this error because these two are same. So we are having, first of all, let's remove this. Okay, we don't, our address should be the same. So we are again going for contract data dot address. Okay, we are going to go for this, and this is going to be contract data dot API. Okay, this is our contract data, and our function right now, if you go to our data, sorry, the to do soul, this is our function get to do items. Okay, we want to get all the data which we have. Okay, we want to get this data which we have. So I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to paste this in index.js. So our function name is not get hunger, our function name is get to do items. So I want to read the data basically, but it is showing us an error. So this error is because, see, the thing is you cannot name every single thing as same. So this error will go if you can use this something like data2. Okay, then the error will go because for this function this data is separate, and for this function this data is separate, so it is called data.to right now. I'm not going to be using this, but just for example I'm showing how you can change your name if you have to use multiple contracts. But let me just show you what to do now. Okay, I don't really need this data because while writing I don't really need what I have written. I already know it is going to go to the transaction, but while reading I'm just removing the data. Okay, everything, this whatever I'm removing and adding is already explained in the Wagmi tutorial, the 1-hour tutorial which I have on my website, on the YouTube channel. So try to go to that video and watch. I have explained this in quite detail there, and this is all you need to do. So now we have these both functions. Okay, so once this is done, so I need this data right now. Okay, so this data is in the form of an array, right? So what is this get to do items? Get to do items does this, all it is doing is it is going to watch the to do list item. So it is going to give us an array. Okay, this to do dot soul is going to give us an array, and if I go to index.js right now, we are sorted right now. So all I need to do is display this array. Okay, we are going to display this array, and let's say how do I display this array? So this array is basically the data. Okay, this array is the data is this, let me show you, this is the read function, right? So if you go to read function, it will show you the result. Okay, whatever is the result, this is the data, it's an object. Okay, inside an object, this is the data key. So I'm going to use this data over here. Okay, and So this is the data, and let me just show you this data. So I'm just adding the second task right now. I clicked on add to do. I'm adding a second task. Let's see if it adds the second task and displays it. So it is not going to display. The reason is because the read data is not always updating. So I'll need to what I'll need to do is I'll need to go to this, and while reading I have to add another function, which is this. Once I go here, uh, in the reading function there is this function called watch. Okay, so what watch does is it is going to continuously look for, I'll just copy this. Okay, uh, what this watch function is going to do is it will keep on reading the data continuously from the blockchain. So after you add a to do, it will still keep on reading that data. That it is continuously reading our data. Now let me add the third task. If I click on add to do, did I save this? Yeah, I saved this. So I'll click on confirm. So now the third task is being added. So okay, I think I have not done. So third task got added. Okay, so it is reading from the blockchain. I'll need to console this data. Basically I'll need to in order to show you, let me just console.log this data. Okay, so if you see this, see, it is continuously reading from the blockchain. Let me just remove this, and if you'll see, every some time, like within 1 or 2 seconds, it is going to keep on reading that. Okay, so that's what it is doing. So I'll just remove this for now, but that's what watch true equal does. So it will continuously read from the blockchain. That's why you have to use the watch true. Now see, there is nothing here. It's like pretty like we have to do CSS basically. But now that you have seen this, see, our task is being added, but I need to delete the task. Now if you remember the start of our tutorial, what happens is you need to click on individual tasks to delete them. So this delete to do function should be equipped with every single added task then and that time itself, which is going to be a single card component .jsx, and this is our single card. And let me just click, and I'll click RFC, and I'll click on enter. This data is basically an array, right? So we are going to map this array, and we are going to map, and what we are going to do is, suppose individual items is whatever the inputs we were giving to this. Okay, and we are going to map this, and let's just do it in paragraph, and we are going to add items to it. Okay, and this is how our map looks. Now basically what this is doing is, whatever the data was inside, whatever individual elements of an array was inside this, like each individual element was given and made as a paragraph and is going to be displayed in the website. So let me just show you how this looks. So earlier we were getting a straight line. Now we want each individual task should have a delete button right in front of them, right beside them. Okay, so what that will do is, okay, so we are going to create an handle change function. Okay, we are going to create a function called handle change, and this function is going to write for us. First of all, it is going to write for us, and the next thing this function is going to do is, it is going to set to do to an empty string. So when we click this to an empty string, so when we click this function, instead of this we are going to use handle change. Okay, now when we click on this function, so what was happening here was, I was trying to write cool, but it was not working. See, cool, what's the let's say next task. Okay, now I'll add the to do, and we'll wait for this. See now, as soon as I clicked on add to do, it removed it, and it sets a to do to 0, sorry, an empty string, and also wrote our function for us, and you see that there is the next task. But we want individual delete to delete a particular function. The way our Solidity is made, which is this is our Solidity code, and we have to give an integer index, so which index we want to delete. So for that, what we need to do is, we have a single card function, we have index.js. So what I want is, instead of this being a simple paragraph, I want this to be a single card. Okay, so I just want this to be a single card element. So let's just remove this, and send, this is going to be like this, and this is our single card element. And what we are going to do is, we are going to provide different props to this. So first is the key prop, do index here. Okay, so this is a dot map method, and the key will be the index. It starts from 0, just so you know. And key is something which gives you warning. So key is just to identify a particular thing. So you can use key so it doesn't show any warnings. And the next is the task. Basically our task is our to do list here. Okay, so this is our to do here. So what we are going to do is, we are going to give this input, not to do, basically it's the item. We already have stored it there. Okay, single card, when we go here, remember, make it capital S. Okay, just for the sake of it. And we are going to have props here. Okay, props. Props are basically whatever we are going to give input to this single card here. Single card, we have 3 different inputs. Key is not required, it is just given. So index, ID, and task, we are going to use this. Okay, so in this, now we can use a p tag here. Okay, now we can use a p tag here, and we can write, what should it display inside? It should display props.id. okay, but remember, return should be always in this, so it should be props and id like this. But we also want, now we want individual delete functions here. Okay, so how do we proceed with that? So for individual delete function, we'll need to go to Wagmi first, and we are going to go to write function. Because why the write function? You can watch the video on my channel, which is the 1-hour video on how to what is write and what is read and how these are working. It's a very simple and very basic video. So all you need to do is just go to that. Okay, for that you'll need to import this. Okay, just copy this, and usually in React you can directly copy paste the whole thing, but it's Next.js, so I can't really have this in app because it's not in the app. I'm currently working in the index.js, so I'm just copying it from here. See, I'm pasting it above the return, if you see. So I'll have to paste it here somewhere, this thing, and the next will be inside the return. I'll need to paste this. I'll control C this, and inside the return I'll paste this, but there should be an error because we don't have this. We should have this. So everything should be covered basically in React. So I think this should work now, and there should also be this. Yeah, something like that. So now we need to see our function, which is this function, which is delete to do item. It is on our blockchain, and remember we have to name it exactly the same. And this, if you see, it takes an input which is a uint. Okay, so we are also going to give it an index argument, just like this one here. If you remember, here also we gave an input of to do. We'll copy this, and we'll just give this as arguments, but here we don't have the input as to do. What's our input? Our input is props.id. Okay, this is our input. Sorry, this should be not id. Okay, we can display its id, but we want not the id, but we want the task basically. If you look at index, we want this task, which is the item, so we are going to give this tasks back here, and let's just watch how it looks first. So okay, I'll have to see, this is the old contract, so I'll need to change this first. So remember we had the contract address, so we'll just write contract data. See, it imported above from address, not address, this will be ABI, the ABI, and this thing is again contract data dot address. See, this was imported on the top, okay, on its own. You just have to, or else you'll just you can write it with, you know, and let's now see how a project looks. So yeah, so this is our feed, but instead of removing the feed, what we'll do is, let's say this function is delete to do. Okay, this function is delete to do, and this data is on success, which we don't really need this. Okay, we don't really need to check the wallet and all. We'll just remove these two, which is not required. Let's just, for the ease, we'll say it's a delete to do button. Okay, so if you see that first task and its delete button here, then first task I wrote like this, delete to do, then second task delete to do, third task delete. So individual have different, it might not look like a button here. I don't know why, maybe some kind of glitch on my end, but this is actually a button. That is what we copied from the Wagmi website, right? It's a button which is named a delete to do. So now when I click on this, okay, now when I click on this button, it is going to go to this function, it is going to execute this function, and it is going to give the input as props.id, which we got from the single card. Remember, in this single card we gave some we gave these I think these are called props. Yeah, these are called props. So we gave this prop, and we can access these props, whatever values you are giving, by using props and then the name of that whichever we gave. So here we gave the name id, we are going to use this, and the task here. So so this is, I think this is our so let me try and delete. For example, let's say I want to delete the third task, so I'll click on this, and let's see if the third task gets deleted. We'll wait for a transaction, and if third task is deleted, oh yeah, so first, second and third task is deleted. We have already installed the Tailwindcss earlier in the video, and what we are going to do is this, but I'm also going to use this palette from coolers. So you can select these colors. Basically this was the palette, and how do I select these colors? Went to the Tailwindcss. You can go to the Tailwindcss doc and check how to add colors, but what happens is when you want to add a different color, every single time you cannot add there itself. Okay, so you'll need to add this in the Tailwindcss config.js. So whenever you use it anywhere, you'll directly get this color, instead of every time using I want this specific color. And it's usually not like, you know, it's a red color or a blue color which you can directly write there, but it's something like when you're trying to use a UI, or someone is giving you the color. For example, you have UI UX designers who will give you these colors and all those things, UI designers, so you'll have to use their color. So just go to Tailwind, check their documentation, or just add this colors part, and I'm just adding these. And how you'll get this is, they already give, you know, as soon as you click on copy, they'll give this, all these details of it. So just copy paste this, and and you can write any name here. For simplicity, I'm writing p red, because you know p is all our basically practice colors. Let's say it's a practice color, so practice red. light, medium, dark, and extra. All these are blue shades. Okay, so this is the light, medium, dark, and this is extra dark. So these are the colors which we'll be using throughout our website. So now I need to go to index.js, and remember this is just, it just hides. Okay, remember this is a extension which I have which hides it, but we don't really need this main class. Okay, so I'm going to remove this main class, and I'll remove the main from here also. And I don't really need a main, instead I'll probably need a div, something like div, or div should do. And we'll start it from the basics. Okay, we are going to just do that. And so we are going to give this a div, and also for a single card also we are going to give this single card a div as well. So we'll just give this a div. Let me div, and I think that this should do the trick. We don't really need all these functions. Okay, no data, nothing, we just need write. Yeah, so what we are going to do is we are going to add those colors right now, and we are going to see how these colors are. First, now that we have removed main, I think every thing should be in the start of the website. So yeah, so let me just start with this. So let's do the Tailwind CSS of this. Let's say it should be flex, and it should be flex row, and then this should be justify center. Let me show you what this means. Let me save. So if you see, now in this div everything is left and right. So this is our task. Now we want this to be at ends. Okay, so you can star my repo, follow me probably on GitHub, and you can, all you need to do is just take all the CSS from there itself, and it will be on my GitHub. And thanks for watching. So I know I can continue with the video, but usually people do not like watching lengthy videos. So I'm going to end the CSS part here. All I needed to tell you was the video is going to be very long, so I'll cut it short, because last Wagmi video was very lengthy itself. So all you need to do is just go to my GitHub. Maybe you can follow me or star the repo. Also, I'll need to tell you one thing which I learned during this was 60, 30 and 10% rule. So how it helped me in this is, because what I did was this is the 60% of the website should be of one color, the 30%, the white part here, should be of another color, and this is the 10%, which is like the call to action, or which is some kind of important button which you want. So this is how I use this in my video. So I think it looks like kind of good. And see, I have also used this color here, which is exactly the same color. It is like the dark color, this one, I think it's this one or either this one. But what I did was almost all these colors are from the palette, and if you use this in this ratio, so 10% is the important ones, 30% is like, usually I should have something from this palette, but I went for white, which should be 30% of the website, and 60% should be of some other color. So this is the color combination I went for. And I don't really want to explain the CSS, Tailwind CSS part. You can go to my GitHub and you'll find all the Tailwind colors which I have used. Just you can check it out from there, and that's pretty much it. You can do the CSS, either Tailwind or any CSS like that. So thanks for watching the video, and see you in the next one.